We've been talking about how to graph the conic section a parabola. We've done a couple examples after we looked at how a parabola is formed and the four different general equations for parabolas based on which direction they open. Now we're just going to do some more examples here. So we're going to analyze the parabola x squared equals negative 12y. First, we need to find the vertex. So this looks like an equation. Since the x is on the left side and squared, it looks like our general equation is given by x minus h squared equals negative 4a times y minus k. Since we don't see any subtractions going on, that means that our vertex, hk, is the origin 0, 0. Okay, that's the first thing. So we can plot the vertex. Now we need to find the focus. So to find the focus, we set negative 4a equal to negative 12 and solve for a. So a is 3. Sorry. Now, we have to figure out which direction a goes. Since we have the negative 4a and the x's are squared, that tells us that this parabola opens down. And remember, the focus is always in the direction of the opening. So since this parabola opens down and the vertex is at the origin, then the focus must be the point 0, negative 3. And that is because, remember, the distance from the vertex to the focus is always RA. So now we find the directrix. Well, we know that the directrix is the same distance away as the focus, but in the opposite direction. So our directrix is the line, and that should be a completely horizontal line. Our directrix D is the line y equals 3. And now we need a couple extra points to be able to graph our parabola. So we know x squared equals negative 12y. Let's pick a y value of 3, negative 3, and then figure out what x has to be. So if we do that, we have x squared is negative 12 times negative 3, which means x squared equals 36. If we take the square root of both sides, we end up with x is positive or negative 6. So we have 2 points, 6, negative 3, and negative 6, negative 3. So let's just plot both of those. And now we make our parabola as best as we can, which obviously mine's terrible. Okay, let's do another example. So this time they're telling us the focus and they're telling us the directrix. So let's put the focus on here at 0, 5. That's the focus. And the directrix is negative 5. So there's our directrix. we know that the vertex has to be halfway in between of those. So first, let's figure out the vertex. So if we just count how many spaces it is between the focus and the directrix, we come up with 10. And we know that that has to equal 2 times A, because it is A from the focus to the vertex and A from the vertex to the directrix. So if we say 10 equals 2A, that means A equals 5. So that means we can plot our vertex, which is halfway between here at 0, 0. And that's because A has to be 5. Okay. Now we need to know which way this parabola opens. We know that it opens up because the focus is above the directrix. Or the vertex for that matter. And since we know that it opens up, that means our equation is x minus h squared equals 4a times y minus k. So our vertex is 0, 0. Remember, that is our hk. So we have x minus 0 squared equals 4. A was 5. We figured that out up above. And then y minus 0. Cleaning that all up, we get x squared equals 20y. So again, we need to pick something to plug in for y so we can figure out what our x has to be, because we need a couple more points to graph. So I'm going to say let y equal 5. That just happens to be our a. That's usually a good number to pick. And then x squared will equal 20 times 5, which means x squared equals 100. When we take the square root of both sides, we end up with x equals positive or negative 10. So we have 2 points, positive 10, 5, and negative 10, 5. So we can plot those 2 points. And then we just connect the dots with a parabola. Okay, there are a couple more examples. We'll cover those in the next video. You should try to do them on your own before then, though.